This is Tapped In. My name is Dave Figueroa-Martinez of DFM Coaching, and today we're going to discuss why purple belt is the best belt to get to. Some people will think that it is black belt, and black belt is fantastic and incredibly fun. And there's a large weight that goes to the black belt. There's a lot of immense responsibility that goes with black belt that some people are not ready for or not adept at doing well. Purple belt, on the other hand, is the belt where you get the best of every side. When you're a white belt, you're an infant, you don't know how to walk yet, don't know how to run, you're figuring out all the new shit in the world. It is completely new to you. Everything feels foreign, unless maybe you're a wrestler, but all of it is brand new to you. So your bucket gets filled a lot faster, and you can notice change really quickly. Blue is like that. It's like that teenage, almost or preteen. You start learning a couple of things. You're getting it. You're sort of piecing things together. You think you know more than you really do. Sometimes you're an asshole about it. You become the blue belt professor. And there's a whole bunch of things that happen at that stage. You also get to that point where you collect a bunch of belts, or I should say, a bunch of techniques, and you never really use them all, but you think that you're going to use them at some point. You're just in love with the entire process. But it's also where a lot of people quit because you've traversed that first mountain and you got this other one that's sitting behind that one, and it's taller and scarier and it requires more, and some people just can't get there. And then purple belt. Purple belt is like that middle child or that teen. Like you don't have all the you don't have literally barely any responsibilities. You show up late to everything. You're an asshole to the white belts sometimes. You pick fights with the brown and black belts because you think you're tougher or better than you really are. No one really expects a ton of responsibility from you, if we're going to be honest. It is where some people start teaching. It is where some people start picking up kids' classes and maybe doing a fundamentals class and that type of thing. But really, it's they don't think all that highly of you where they're just going to give you an adult class necessarily. That generally at most gyms, or at least the bigger ones, goes to brown and black belts. Occasionally, purple belt might fill in. They might do a fundamentals class. Great. But they're not expecting a ton from you. And it's really why you show up late. It's really why you start picking up weird habits. You start picking up, like, you wear everything purple, or you try to. Um, you're a little snarky. At least that's my impression. You're you can pick on and sometimes bully, and I mean that in a respectful way, the white and blue belts. Uh, you will challenge some brown and black belts, and you'll challenge them whether you can think you can win or not. But most importantly, when you get to purple, my impression is that some of the pressure kind of lifts off. It was the belt that I was able to take a deep breath at. I wanted to get out of blue belt so fucking badly. I absolutely hated blue belt. I didn't want to sit there and every time someone asked me, "Oh, what belt are you? You've been training, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. Oh, you're just the blue belt?" And it was just something about that I didn't like. So I couldn't wait to get out of blue. I got to purple, and there was this weight that was taken off of, like, I finally got to the blue belt blues. I got past that benchmark. If I quit now, like, no one's gonna look at me weird. But it was also a belt where you start coming into your identity. You throw away a lot of weird wasted techniques that you picked up at blue, and you start to become a bit more specialized. You start to pick up techniques that can fill your wheelhouse, can enhance the things you're already doing, things that will make you sharper. You're sharpening knives that you own already. You're making everything a bit more crisp. So that's the belt where I really came into my own. I was butterfly Kimura, half guard, top heavy pressure, and that's really where I picked up the majority of that finesse and that specific, like, subject matter expert type shit. So that's where I think I was able to really, like, spend time on the things that I knew that were going to last. And that for me was a weight that got taken off. I wasn't trying to get to the next belt in a hurry. I wasn't trying to outpace myself. I think that it was a great belt to add techniques to you because you had enough students under you, white and blue, who, yes, they can beat you, and some of them do, but you had a plethora of people that were just enough away that you can add something to your technique and you can implement it during rolling against these people and not worry necessarily that you were going to get submitted if you fucked up. So you can play the game that you were implementing without that concern of being wrecked. That's kind of hard to do when you're at white and early blue. Oftentimes you're trying to add something and the other people are so much better than you, and the people who are just under you aren't that much off from you. So you kind of like, there's a lot of mess ups that happen there, and then you have to rebuild large portions of the round because you messed up. At purple, it was like if I messed up at something, it was like, all right, I mess up, I'm still in a good position, or I just get back to the position that I wanted because I'm that much better than most of the people under me. So it's really easy to kind of sharpen a lot of the techniques that I was working on or add things that highlighted other aspects of my game. Additionally, it was a belt where no one expected me to beat the brown or black belts. So I could play. Like I can go into a round and genuinely push the pace and try my all. And it wasn't going to hit my ego that I lost. I was expected to lose. It wasn't going to offend me that I lost. I'm shooting for the stars at that point. So it has the best of both worlds in that sense. You can get a little bit of an ego because you're that much better than the white belts and most of the blue belts. But then you turn around and you go against the black belt who makes you feel like a toddler and everything goes right back to balance. At least with most people. You have some people who are just ego driven and they'll never balance out. But for the most people, that purple belt is that phase where you're getting knocked around by the uppers. You're able to give some shit to lowers, and everything's kind of falls in this weird harmonious stage where I'm gonna get some, I'm gonna lose some, but I'm good. I'm not in a terrible position. I'm getting both the success and the failure, and my confidence can grow a bit. This is also, in my opinion, where you start to mentor people. And let's say you're a 4 stripe white belt. There are going to be times where you're going to coach like the new guy. And I don't mean coach like through a match or a technique, but you might give him some pointers, some advice. Hey, he's new, she's new, she's on a trial. And you kind of give them some tidbits. Hey, this is what worked for me. This is what I'm working on right now. Oh, your escapes, I will put my hand here. Like simple things. But purple, you know enough because you've been around for a couple of years. That's really where you start to mentor other belts. That's really where you start to, again, in some positions, you start to teach a bit. And that gives you the courage and the confidence to then guide those who are coming behind you. My first mentor was a purple belt, Will Baldwin, a fantastic coach and mentor at the time, and still is to some degree. I don't see him as much, but at the time, he was the guy for me. He was the one that taught me technique. He was the one that made me sharper. He was the one that showed me what coaching was supposed to be about. He was the one that was at nearly every competition I had. He was my main training partner a lot of times. He was getting ready for competitions. I was his training partner. And it was one of those relationships that to this day, I absolutely adore. And that, again, he was a purple belt. And I think that I started mentoring certain people around that time frame as well. And it teaches you the responsibility of being a black belt. You're almost in training. It teaches you that you have to be giving and a little selfless, which you do not do at blue belt necessarily. You're able to give feedback to students a little bit more organized and technical because you've been around a bit longer. It's one of the things that I've cherished about doing jiu-jitsu is the ability of being mentored and mentoring other people. And It's something that I really fell in love with at Purple. Purple, I also picked up a kids class that I was teaching, I think 2 times a week, 3 to 7 year olds. That's where I really learned how to coach. And while you may not mentor those kids, you're doing mentorship aspects, and you're teaching them the ways of jujitsu, and you're teaching them how to be a good partner, teaching them how to do certain techniques correctly, and you're molding them to be better people, which, that also comes from the parents and the teachers and all this other stuff. But you're playing a part in that you don't really maybe consider because they're little kids, and at the time it might feel like a job. This is something I do to either not have to pay tuition, or maybe I liked it, but I didn't necessarily, maybe I wanted to teach, but I didn't want to teach little kids. But it's a huge teaching moment. And if you can get into that around purple belt, it'll mold you and it'll give you some perspective on what owning a gym and what running a department or a program is like, what running a gym is going to be like. And it's excellent training, and all that, at least for me, from my experience, comes generally around purple. And the ability to mentor other people is going to be a lifelong skill. And if you can start doing it around that time when you're confident in your own skill, and that you can give someone that feedback, give someone pointers, help someone not quit, help someone maybe compete, it's huge. It's huge. It's invaluable. It's the best feeling in the world. You don't have the ownership feeling of like, I got to make sure that this gym runs, but you are doing some of those tasks. It really, really the best of both worlds. There's nothing like it, in my opinion. I had the most fun at that stage. The responsibilities were little. I can fuck off. I can help people along. I can torment those that came under me, sometimes torment those that are a little older but above me. Purple belt by far is the best belt you're going to have. If you're in it right now, I implore you to enjoy it while it lasts. When you get to brown, the responsibilities start to come into play a little bit more. People expect you to be not serious. You don't have to be serious to do any of this, but you uphold the gym's reputation a bit more. The underbelts will look at you more. They look at the purple belts like big brothers. The brown and black belts are the adults in this thought. Not that any other belt deserves less respect, but just in the scope of things, how people view the belts. In my opinion, purple is like that big brother, big sister. You respect them, you love them if they've been mentoring you, but they don't run the gym, so they're not necessarily viewed at that level. And then the brown and black belts, they're often owners. Some places head instructors, even at brown belt, even an owner. And they represent the gym differently than any other belt. So there's a lot of responsibility, a lot of weight that comes with those belts, a lot that you're not even completely ready for and understand until you get there. People look at you differently. People will ask different types of questions. They'll come to you with different issues. They don't come to purple belts with those issues. So there's a gap between purple and the other two that allows you to enjoy the sport for what it is without having that giant responsibility, goofing off, showing up late, doing a bunch of fuck shit that purple belts do. So again, literally my funnest belt. And I'm not taking anything away from my black belt days right now. 3.5 years in, I think it's a black belt. Maybe it's 4 years now. I don't know. It's no, I think it's four. It's a different beast. Black belt, I'm teaching more, I'm giving more, and it's a lot more selfless, and I'm not finding as much time to train. So it's a different beast. So if you're at purple, enjoy it. If you're getting ready to get into purple, enjoy it. I hope this helps. I hope this gives you some perspective on the belt and what's expected, why it's a fun belt to be in. Enjoy jiu-jitsu far above anything else. If you're training and you're not enjoying jiu-jitsu, regardless of your belt, you may want to look for another gym or switch things up. Find that passion that thing that's gonna ignite you again, because this is such a long road that if you're not enjoying this, it's gonna get really tedious and you're just going to want to quit. Keep that in mind. If you want to work with me, reach out to dfmcoaching.com. If you have any questions or want to talk to me, have me out for seminars or workshops, whatever you want to do, you can also send me a message at dfm.2099 on Instagram or hit me up on Threads. Again, any questions, want to work with me, need some feedback, need a video reviewed, let me know. I'm always available. Thank you.